This, in my experience, is the hardest part of the C1 Advanced reading paper, and it's only 4 questions long. Students normally see Part 6 of the C1 Advanced Reading and Use of English paper and think,
"Oh my goodness, only 4 questions? This is going to be easy."
but no, they are so wrong. However, with the right strategy, it doesn't need to be difficult. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this hard, horrible and horrific exercise into an exercise that you will love and want to marry. Maybe even have a child with. Ugh. Let's go. In Part 6 of the C1 Advanced Reading and Use of English paper, you will be given 4 texts. Each of these texts will be about 150 words long. So that's about 600 words in total. Ooh, see my maths? That's why I teach my own language. Also, each of these texts will be written by a different author, but all of them will be discussing the same topic. Now, in addition to these 4 texts, you will be given 4 questions, and guess what? It's your job to answer the questions.
Exactly, Toby. It's easy.
No, it's not, because each question doesn't just require you to understand one text. No, in order to answer one question, you need to understand all of the texts. Okay, let me show you what I mean. We will use simple sentences here as an example. Here are 4 sentences. 1. Smash English is the best thing ever. 2. Smash English is okay. 3. Nothing is better than Smash English. And 4. I enjoyed watching Smash English. So, now we have 4 sentences. Let's look at an example question. Which sentence agrees with sentence 1 about Smash English? Well, the answer is sentence 3. This is basically what Part 6 of the C1 Advanced Reading and Use of English paper requires you to do. The difference is, we're not dealing with sentences. Instead, we're dealing with entire paragraphs. Students can find this really difficult because they need to locate information, then store the information in their heads, and then compare this information with other pieces of information in order to find an answer. And believe me, if you do not have a structured way of doing this, then it is very easy to get overwhelmed, especially when you only have 15 minutes to do this. But don't worry, now we're going to look at an example of Part 6. I'm going to give you the best strategy to make your life really easy, and then you're going to think, wow, Toby's a brilliant guy, I love Smash English, I'm going to subscribe, and I'm going to leave him a comment just to tell him how thankful I am. Okay, are you ready? Let's do it.
So here are our 4 texts, A, B, C, and D. All of them are reviewing a book called The Architecture of Happiness by Alain de Botton.
Now, you may be thinking, like every responsible student does, that the best thing to do is to immediately read all of these reviews.
Oh wow, yes, Toby. That's a great idea. I'll do that now.
No! That is a big mistake. You're wasting your time. Part 6 is all about quickly identifying pieces of information. You do not need a general, global understanding of all of the texts in order to answer the questions. Instead, let's take a look at our questions.
And here are our 4 questions. Let's now look at question 1. Which reviewer has a different opinion from the others on the confidence with which de Botton discusses architecture? So, what are we going to do?
We are going to very quickly scan every single review. And we're going to underline every part in each review where the reviewer discusses de Botton's confidence when he writes about architecture.
I'll leave our question here. And here is Reviewer A's review. We need to very quickly scan this and underline the part which discusses de Botton's confidence. Pause the video here and give yourself 30 seconds to do this. Did you find it? It was only 3 words, with typical self-assurance.
Now we just need to do the same thing again for B, C, and D.
Here is Reviewer B's review. Again, we need to scan this text and find where it discusses the author's self-confidence. Pause the video here and give yourself 30 seconds to do this. Did you find it? It's here. Yet one is left with the feeling that he needed the help and support of earlier authors on the subject to walk him across the daunting threshold of architecture itself. Let us not focus so much on what this means just yet. Instead, let's move on to Reviewer C. You know what to do now. Pause the video and find the part that discusses the author's self-confidence. It's here. Alain de Botton has a great time making bold and amusing judgments about architecture. And finally, let's look at D. Pause the video here. The relevant part is here. De Botton certainly writes with conviction.
So, we have identified the important parts of each text that we need in order to answer the question. What do we need to do now then? Now we need to compare them and answer the question. This is much easier because now we're just comparing sentences. We're not comparing entire paragraphs because boy oh boy, comparing paragraphs is difficult. Paragraphs are long and they contain a lot of irrelevant information. Now we're just dealing with sentences, and sentences, they're small, they're easy, and God, I think I'm in love with them. Let's go!
So here is our question, and here are the various opinions the reviewers have given regarding the confidence of de Botton when writing about architecture. Our question is, which of these is different to the others? Well, what do you think? Which one is different? We notice that A, C, and D all state that de Botton writes with a lot of confidence. B, on the other hand, suggests that the author seems as if he needs help. So B clearly has a different opinion to the others. The answer to our first question, then, is B.
And now, you've guessed it, we need to do this again 3 times. Ugh, what joy, Cambridge. I love you. Again, the key to this exercise is your ability to scan texts quickly to identify information that is pertinent to each question. So remember, read the question, identify in the question what do you need to look for in each text, then start looking.
Here is question 2. Which reviewer shares A's opinion whether architects should take note of de Botton's ideas? So, we need to find the parts of the texts that discuss whether de Botton's ideas should be taken note of by architects. Once again, here is text A. Let's try and highlight this part of the text. 30 seconds. Let's go. Here it is. His commendable aim is to encourage architects and society more generally to pay more attention to the psychological consequences of design in architecture. Got it. Now, let's move on to reviewer B. 30 seconds, go. Did you get it? I think it's all of this part here. He appears to believe that architects are all still masters of their art, when increasingly they are cogs in a global machine for building in which beauty and how de Botton feels about it are increasingly beside the point. Here is reviewer C. 30 seconds. Let's go. I think that this part of the text is relevant. His is an engaging and intelligent book on architecture, and something everyone, professionals within the field in particular, should read. Did you think the same? Well, I hope so. And finally, reviewer D. 30 seconds starting now. This is different. I do not think reviewer D says anything about whether architects should take note of de Botton's ideas. This is actually good for us. It means we have less to read when it comes to answering this question.
So, we've identified where reviewer A's opinion is in the text. We now need to compare this opinion with the opinions of reviewers B and C. We can completely ignore D because D doesn't mention this anywhere, so this makes our life really easy. We just need to compare 3 sentences and say which ones agree, and then we're done. It's not difficult.
So here is our question. Here is reviewer A's opinion. Here is reviewer B's opinion. And here is reviewer C's opinion. Which one out of B and C is similar to reviewer A? Give yourself 30 seconds to do this. Pause the video here. So, A states that it is a commendable aim to encourage architects to think more about the psychological consequences of design in architecture. This suggests that A believes that architects should take note of de Botton's ideas. B seems to suggest that architects can't take note of de Botton's ideas, as they are cogs in a global machine. C, on the other hand, states that professionals in the field should read de Botton's book. And so the answer is C.
Now you should be getting into the rhythm of things. So let's have a go at question 3, and this time I'm going to give you a bit more freedom. Are you ready?
Yes, Toby. I've never had so much fun in all of my life. I'm going to like this video now and subscribe to Smash English.
Well, that's just great.
Here is our question. Which reviewer expresses a similar view to reviewer B regarding the extent to which architects share de Botton's concerns? So what are we going to do? Well, obviously, we are going to find this information in B. Here is reviewer B. You have 30 seconds. And let's go. Okay, so this is what I have found. Happiness has rarely been something architects think about. De Botton never once discusses the importance of such dull yet determining matters as finance or planning laws, much less inventions such as the lift or reinforced concrete. Now let's have a look at D. Does D say anything about whether architects share the same concerns as de Botton? Give yourself 30 seconds to find out. Again, no. D says nothing on this topic.
Now I'm going to give you reviews A and C. You are going to search through these 2 paragraphs. You are then going to identify where the important information is. Then you are going to compare this information to the phrases we have highlighted in B. Finally, you are going to decide which of these phrases agrees with what B said. So basically, you're doing all of this on your own.
Oh, this is so exciting. It's almost like the exam.
Yeah, exactly.
So here we have our key sentence from reviewer B. Here we have review A, and here we have review C. You need to 1. Identify key parts of A and C. 2. Compare these two key parts. And 3. Choose which one agrees with reviewer B. Give yourself 2 minutes to do these 3 things. Pause the video here. Okay, let's go through this very quickly. Here is the important part of A, and here is the important part of C. A states that architects don't tend to think about emotion and beauty, but instead focus on design and function. C states that architects worry about how material things convey meaning and alter consciousness. So C disagrees with B, while A agrees with B. So our answer is A.
Now it is time for you to do a question entirely on your own.
Davey, I don't know if I'm ready. This is terrifying.
Oh, you're ready. You're ready because Smash English has given you everything you need to know to smash this exam task. I'll show you the question. Then you will go through each reviewer to identify the information that is important in order to answer the question. At the end, I will show you the pieces of information that you should have highlighted. And then you will choose your answer. Are you ready?
No!
Let's go.
Here is our question. Which reviewer has a different view to reviewer C on the originality of some of de Botton's ideas? And now, you guessed it, we are going to look at reviewer C. You have 30 seconds to find the important part. Now, let's do the same for reviewer A. And reviewer B. And finally, reviewer D. Okay, so now it is time for me to reveal which parts of the texts you should have highlighted. Let's see how you did. Which part of C did you think was important? I highlighted this part. Most of de Botton's revelations, such as the contradictions in Le Corbusier's theory and practice, are not particularly new. Now, what about A? Could you find anything? Well, I couldn't find anything. I hope you couldn't either because, well, if you could, we have a problem. And what about D? Same story here. D also says nothing about how original de Botton's ideas are. So this leaves us with B. If we cannot find anything in B dealing with the originality of de Botton's work, then we have a problem. So, could you find anything? Luckily, I could. I found this. Alain de Botton raises important, previously unasked questions concerning the quest for beauty in architecture, or its rejection or denial. Now we just need to make sure that the sentences in C and B disagree with each other. If they do, B is our answer. So here are our sentences. What do you think? Yes, we have a clear disagreement here. C states clearly that de Botton's ideas are unoriginal, while B states that de Botton raises previously unasked questions, which means his work must be original. Our answer, therefore, is B. Oof, finally, we did it.
And yeah, that took a lot of time. In the exam, you will only have 15 minutes, but hey, you will get better the more that you practice. Just remember, do not read all of the texts first without reading the questions, because that is a surefire way to feel overwhelmed and confused. No, instead, follow these 5 steps. Number 1, take the time to read the question. Number 2, scan each text for the relevant piece of information. Number 3, underline each relevant piece of information in each text. Number 4, compare the parts of the texts that you have underlined. And number 5, answer the question. If you follow this action plan and you practice a little bit, then you will be able to complete part 6 in no time. And with that, we are finished. If you liked the video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment down below. My name is Toby, and this was Smash English.